Right, so South Africans, as we've just said, are still saving, and that's despite the cost of living crisis. TymeBank's rainy day report shows that more consumers are putting some money away, not just for emergencies, but in fixed deposit accounts as well for future financial reprieve. Greg Illgner joins us this evening. He's the Chief Strategy Officer at TymeBank. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, Greg. So this interesting trend that consumers see the value in saving despite the current economic climate. Tell us a little bit about that finding in that report.
Absolutely. Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. We some very encouraging sort of news from the investigation that we did. So we did a survey of about 1,500 participants, and then we really dug into our own customer data. So it's a TymeBank. We've got just under 7.5 million customers that we've onboarded over the course of the last 4 and a bit years. And so we've got lots of data. So we asked some questions, and the response, is a little contrary perhaps to the normal narrative around South Africans. So there's lots of reports sort of in the formal industry about what bad savers South Africans are. And that is sort of in the formal saving market, the fancy products, the investment products, equity investments, pension funds, etc. South Africans are poor savers, so only about 0.5% of total income ends up in those products. But what we found when we spoke to our own customers is that 83% of them have saved, so they have some form of saving, and 44% of them, save for a rainy day, so they know that. It's better to have your own money available when you get a knock, when that rainy day comes along, and to be able to dip into your savings to fund it.
Now, I mean, if COVID-19 taught us anything, is to make sure you've got something to lean on should a disaster hit. So let's look at the age groups that were saving in the report, as well as the gender. I'm sure women were coming out tops in terms of those saving the most, more than men anyway.
Yeah, absolutely right. Women are often more financially responsible. Some of it born out of need. So women typically, South Africa has very high rates of single parent households, and it often falls on the mom to look after the children. The financial responsibility sort of is thrust upon them. So we've found that in this research, 54% of the individuals that save are women. In our own base, 68% of the individuals that have put money into our fixed deposit product are under the age of 35. So very encouraging.
No, absolutely, indeed. I mean, we had a conversation a few weeks ago that more and more consumers in general are saving money for food and funerals. So I'm interested to know, apart for rainy day funds, what else are people saving for according to your report?
They save for responsible things like education and sort of the dream of owning their own house, their own car. Some of it's intra-month, so some of it is making sure that you end the month, being able to buy food and put look after the family. The sort of the bad news is that there's the savings rates for the really long-term stuff, the savings for retirement. Those levels are very low. So we've within our own base, we're a bank that's done very well in terms of attracting and providing services to lower income South Africans, and within our own base, the savings is very much skewed towards the shorter end of the spectrum. But we have encouraging results with this fixed deposit product that we've introduced, which is sort of 3, 6, and 12 months. The most of the investment flow has been into the 12-month side.
And I suppose that feeds into the saving strategies that your customers or consumers would be using to put some money away for a rainy day.
Absolutely, yeah. So with these two sort of products, the short-term saving vehicle, it's important that you kind of have a set of incentives for people to leave money in it. Whereas the longer term stuff, typically, think of a piggy bank. The customers put money into it, and it's sort of protected from themselves. So they contract with a bank to say that I'm going to not touch that money for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or longer. We stopped at 12 months for now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think my money needs to be protected from myself, Greg. Thank you very much. He's the Chief Strategy Officer at TymeBank.